𝐷Z Radio Australia. Time for the one thing. What a bunch of people we've got here. We've got an amazing group of people, but first and foremost, there's something wrong here.
I know, right?
I mean, really. Okay, Lisa has transformed herself.
She's got new glasses. Did you see?
I tell you what, new glasses, whole new look. It's amazing.
Whole new look.
It's almost like a DNA change. Absolutely fantastic. But before I go and do all of that, I'm going to throw to Leanne. Leanne, what's going on today?
Well, Lisa's bailed on me today.
You've been told.
Just you. I knew, Aaron. She's bailed on you as well. No,
True.
we have a very special guest presenter today who you may have all met before, Katie Van Heek, and Kate from Health Intent. And Katie's here because she has a special connection to our guest. And it's all about the bling.
It is about the bling. It really is.
So, Katie's our special guest presenter today. So we've got a new Lisa, Katie Van Heek.
Oh, it is my pleasure to be Lisa for the afternoon, and hopefully I do this justice.
I feel like I'm in trouble already. So, yeah. So you're doing a good job. That's right. Exactly right. Now, in fact, look, Lisa doesn't like to lose control, so I believe she has a piece of paper of things she'd like you to say.
I have asked Lisa to print me out something so that, I can stay on track, because that's not my special skill.
Oh, we don't do his track.
That's why we love you around here, because nobody stays on track at that age. All right, let's jump into the show.
Yeah, so it's my absolute pleasure to introduce the guest speaker presenter today. And Karen from Karen Lee Designs is a beautiful friend of mine. I've known Karen for several years now. And she is the founder and chief design creator at Karen Lee Designs Jewellery.
That sounds good.
One of my favourite local jewellery makers in Perth. Karen makes bespoke silver jewellery that contain gemstones, and they're all intentionally made, all made with love, and the energy of the pieces are just beautiful. And I'm wearing several today, which I can show off as we go.
Very cool.
Karen's originally from New Zealand. She draws her inspiration now from the beach and the Indian Ocean. She loves to connect with nature, and her creative journey spans through pottery, drawing, crystals, meditations, and that all started her along the way, I believe, to her jewellery business that she enjoys now. And some amazing things coming up for you, I hear, that we're going to talk about today as well.
Yes, there is some very exciting things.
Yeah, so welcome, Karen, to The One Thing.
Thank you.
Welcome indeed.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Well,
And I have some pieces too. I don't see you
don't
wearing
have any pieces. I haven't been offered.
Oh,
okay.
we could have organised
We could have organised that. We've got some right there.
I wouldn't cry.
You could have had a ring like
put
this.
a bling ring on you.
I do want a bit of bling. It'd be good. I'm going to jump straight into it. One thing that I absolutely love here is that they're individual pieces. We are individuals. We're not cookie cutter, this is no factory, right? Because there's no way they turn this out again. But you want an individual piece that suits you. And so am I understanding every single piece is unique?
Every single piece.
Wow.
And I've been doing this now for nearly 20 years.
Okay.
So, and I can say, actually, no, there is something that's been duplicated, and it happens to be a ring that I've had on, that I've got on. So apart from this ring, which is, because I'm all about being authentic, and it is what it is.
Of course.
But yes, this ring has been duplicated.
Right.
I have made several of these rings, and I will make several more. And to my knowledge and thought right now, that is the only thing that has been duplicated.
Looking at those two rings, I've discovered one thing already. I'm not going to get into a fight with you.
No, they've got various
they'll find the culprit pretty quickly. That's something. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
So, okay, how long, you did say, but I've already, so it's fallen out of my head.
20 years ago, I started. I actually started because I had a baby when I was 40 years old, and I was single. And I actually had her in New Zealand.
9 months before, maybe not so much.
Yeah. Well, we won't
Immaculate conception.
won't go there. I may have still been single at that point.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, that's another story. So when I came back to Australia and settled into my home and getting all sorted out, and she was sort of a year old, going, what am I going to do? How am I going to bring an income in? What is it I love doing? because it was a point in my life where I could make a turn decision to do something that I wanted to do. So at that time, I'd been doing Reiki for the last year.
Right.
So I thought, I love crystals. So then I went, okay, I'm going to do something with crystals. And so I approached a crystal wholesaler, explained that I wanted to do some crystal selling, and I can't afford a shop at that point. I've got a little baby and I didn't have a lot of money, but I'd done a lot through pottery and all those things, the introduction that you gave me, I had done in-home presentations, party plan.
Okay.
So I went, okay, I can set up my own party plan and I can work around this little girl and sort of hop her out to places and start generating an income. So I started off with a couple of pieces of jewellery. I was making a few bits of jewellery, and I started off, and the girls came along, and they were all my friends from the Centrelink ladies, actually.
Oh,
that was my
those
friends'
girls, they go
they
off,
were
be
all
careful.
there, and so they were all standing there, and I'd done my spiel and feeling so proud of myself, and they all looked really like, oh. And I said, what's wrong? And they went, we thought you were going to make your own jewellery. We thought we would see something different. So I went, I can.
Yeah.
So then I proceeded then to not just make jewellery for myself, but to look into making jewellery. And then I learnt, as you do, my style has changed a lot. So back then I was doing beaded jewellery. So it was beaded, very chunky, very bold, which is still what I'm like. I love chunky and bold. It's my
signature.
My signature pieces.
Yeah.
And then I got into. I was lucky enough at that point to get into 𝐊𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 galleries.
Oh, nice.
So I felt like I'd made it. When I got to 𝐊𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 galleries, I felt like, right, I've arrived.
It's a beautiful part of the world.
It is beautiful.
Yeah,
And
and
the
it's gorgeous gallery. It really
yes.
is, yeah. I know
So
that.
that's now probably about 15, maybe even more years ago, and I'm still at 𝐊𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 galleries.
There we go.
So I love this. We just work so well together. So,
I believe, though, that you're not just now at 𝐊𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 galleries.
Oh, no,
But
no,
you are also
and
at the WA Art Museum.
I am. I know.
hilarious.
Art gallery.
Art
of
Gallery.
WA, in the shop.
Art Gallery of
Yeah,
WA.
Agua.
Wow.
Yes, yeah.
That's something to write
That
home
is
about.
fancy, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Good
that's
on you.
fairly recent.
Yes,
and
that's
I've actually-
amazing that you've been.
That was, and that was, it's sometimes who you know.
Yeah.
And that it was a little bit of who you know. A girl, Penny, who's one of the bosses there, she bought a lot of my jewellery, and she actually was talking, at one point of us going over to America and selling in America.
Yeah,
and
wow.
then COVID came along.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
How inconvenient
Good
was
old
that?
COVID.
how
Good on you.
inconvenient. Well, actually, COVID was really convenient for me because COVID got me to step into this world full time. Because
Yes,
I was-
COVID came around at the right time.
It
for
really
many
did for
did.
so many
For many
people.
people.
It became
Many
an opportunity,
people.
didn't it? Yeah.
I was working in a crystal showroom for 16 years and learnt quite a knowledge of crystals, of where they come from. I can identify a fair amount of crystals. But that was my grounding. That was how and then when it came back to going back to work, I just went, I don't want to. I'm
Good on
just
you.
going to give this a go and see how it works.
Well, I've got a question that's come in from Lisa. Lovely to see the question. Thank you, Lisa. Do you have a favourite piece you like to wear yourself?
A favourite piece? No, Lisa. I have several favourite pieces. What I have got on today is something we were just discussing earlier. It's called azurine. Now, a lot of people mistake this for tourmaline, but it actually is, it's quite different to tourmaline.
Right.
And it's the women's stone. It's the women protection stone. And it's got quite a bit of green that runs through it. So it's got a great heart protection.
Is that the kryptonite?
Green's
The
healing as well.
kryptonite,
isn't
it
it?
is. No, that's more the selenite is more like kryptonite.
Okay.
Because it's got that whole kryptonite look. It's white and
Green's the healing colour.
green is for the
Right.
heart.
Yeah,
Yes, generally. But I don't really stick to the genres of what is being told out there. Through my journey with crystals, I have learnt that this piece is its own energy. So there's an oversoul to every single piece of crystal. So, you know, Azurine may do what Azurine does, but this piece does what this does. So,
And I love that about your stuff, Karen.
Yeah.
I don't have a favourite piece, and I have a few pieces now.
You do,
But
yeah.
I just, they call me and they say, today I'm going to wear you. And the one I'm wearing today is actually black kyanite. And this is a piece that I picked up in Broome. I bought the stone.
Right.
And then asked Karen to make it into a piece of jewellery
Oh,
for me.
you do that too?
yes, yeah.
Well, this is the
Yeah.
thing. It stopped being jewellery. It's art, right?
It
Oh,
is
it is art.
absolutely.
art.
There's no doubt about it. It's
Yeah.
art. Yeah.
Yeah, I love to wear my art.
Yeah.
So why
Yeah.
not do it in jewellery
I've
form
never
as
noticed
well?
that about you. No, never.
And you know, the art starts with the crystal because
Okay.
that's nature's art. You know, if you get a, I mean, from where I come from, I have, you know, a lot of crystals, and nature produces the most magnificent art.
Yeah.
You know, they're all so different.
agree.
Yeah.
Really
yeah.
do.
I mean, if you know, all the way from trees to scenery to all sorts of things, nature, you know, to waterfalls to crystals.
Well, you've just made a point about trees, okay? We see trees every day, right? Okay,
Yeah.
something that's just inherently right in front of us. Last Saturday I was down at Hyde Park, and the trees are just so beautiful. It took me back to my childhood big time. You know, there was a tree very similar in my primary school, it's so individual. You're never going to see another one, and it's nice to see art in just everyday life.
Yes.
Petrified
Yes.
wood is also a crystal.
Yes.
So
it-
Really?
petrified wood, yeah.
yeah. So that is a tree,
it is a tree.
obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Was it was a tree?
Was once
a
upon a
long
time.
time ago.
And how old
It's retired
must
now.
that be? I mean,
Yeah.
then that's got some kind of wisdom in
Yeah.
it through the ages of what it's seen and what it's felt and what it's gone through and the energetic field that's around where it's grown. The changes over, you know, millenniums of time
Sure.
is in that. And that's the other thing about crystals is that they do hold knowledge of where they're growing and they pick up energy. Like
Okay.
a lot of people will say to me, you know, am I allowed to touch? Because I'll have a display and I'll go, of course you can touch. They're there for touching. And then the other thing they are, because they understand, finishing that, they understand that some people don't like you touching their own jewellery because...
Really?
Yeah, it's a common thing because they're putting their energy into it. The moment they're touching it, they can be like sponges. Certain crystals are said not to be like that, but certain ones are more like that. I was going somewhere and I've actually lost my train of thought to
Doesn't
where
matter,
I was
it's all
going
not- all
from that.
Yeah, exactly. It's all relevant.
Anyway, yeah.
What I was going to say is, a former partner of mine loves her crystals, right? Okay, and we went crystal shopping together, and we went to this particular lady's house and had a sort of set up. It was very, very impressive. But yeah, she said, no, you can't touch that one, you can't touch that one,
Yes,
all that kind of,
yes.
and I'm like,
Oh, I know what I was going to say
what?
now.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. So
Yes, no,
it's
that
quite
is
curious
that
about
is very common, very
Right.
common.
And some of them are delicate, right?
Yes,
So, but
yes.
yeah, other times people are just a bit possessive.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, very much energetically possessive they
Yeah.
are.
Well, you had to make
But
an
you can
appointment to go
clear
there
them
and all
too,
that.
can't you?
Well, that's where
Once
I was
you've-
going before.
yeah, okay.
The clearing is that the other question I get asked is, you know, do you clear? I mean, I've got a table, as you girls have seen.
Yes.
The table
They're
is full.
magnificent.
And they said, do you clear this? And I said, never. And they're like, oh, well, everyone's been touching them. And I said, I yet haven't seen anyone go past my table and go, ooh, yuck, that's awful. They also are energy beings, and people go past the table and go, oh my God, this is some of the most beautiful jewellery I've ever seen. Oh, look at these crystals. These crystals are beautiful. They often get
Yeah.
put out into the elements, sometimes unexpectedly.
Right.
If I'm in a marquee and it starts raining and I haven't got them all in time, the sun goes on them, the wind goes on them, they get the elements. You know, I used to do Scarborough markets,
Yep.
which got all the elements because you were down by the ocean.
Yeah, that's right.
So you got the ocean salt that was coming over. So the thing is about the clearing, if you want to clear, clear. But if you don't want to clear, just give them love.
They've probably got their own energy that they clear themselves.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Just like people, right? We like to be told that we're beautiful and magnificent and how stunning are you today?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
they like
And we
that as
open
well.
up and shine when we hear those kind of things said to us. We're like, oh, well, that's nice. And
Now, I'm clearly in a room of people who are fully engaged and love crystals, right? Now, to me, I'm slowly coming on board. Don't get me wrong, okay?
Yeah.
But I come from the total, like, they're coloured rocks,
Yeah.
okay? That's where I come from. And I'll appreciate them as a piece of art. I'll appreciate them as something beautiful. And more than anything, just as something naturally beautiful. I do love that. But I don't know how do I ask this. I mean, how do you explain the other features of it as far as the otherworldly level of crystals?
Are you talking about the people that aren't into the crystal
No,
world?
the
Yeah, so-
crystal
Like
themselves.
the
Yeah.
metaphysical side.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd like me to explain the metaphysical
Yeah,
side?
it'd be
Oh
great.
gosh, that's pretty much
In 8 words or less.
what we The metaphysical side, in my belief, actually, it's not even my belief. They've actually been scientifically tested.
Okay.
Now, Melody, who wrote the Melody's her book, I can't think what Melody's book is now. Love is in the Earth. Now, Melody visited Australia several years ago, and we went to go and see her. And she explained she was a scientist and worked for NASA.
Right.
And in NASA, they use crystals.
Yeah.
And they were testing the crystals, and she noticed that all of these crystals were testing differently on the gauges. And so this got her curious.
Yeah, it would.
And so she, and I'm not even 100% sure what they were using them for. So from there, she started to go into the crystal world and was testing them through technology.
Right.
And also testing them with a room full of people going into a meditative state to see if they could pick the vibrations up as the technology picked the vibrations up, if I'm right in remembering what I learned.
Sure.
So she left the science world. She's a science geek.
Yep.
And she is now a complete metaphysical.
But you could actually get numbers, data.
You can get data.
Yeah,
You
and
can
I mean
get
that's
data.
impressive. That is,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And for those of us who are walking as a cynic, that's kind of the defining thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess like anything like iron or lead or, all the other elements and metals,
Yep.
they have properties.
course.
And so
Yeah.
the crystals and the
No
rocks
different.
are no
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Great
So
point.
what's the difference between crystals and gemstones?
Gemstones generally are the rarer. So when you move into the gemstone world, you're moving into the rubies, the garnets. So as you wouldn't I say my jewellery is gemstones because they're all gems to me. So it's really not, I don't believe there's a defining point.
Yeah.
But, you've got your gems, go into your diamonds, and your rubies, your garnets, and sapphires and tourmalines, except a black tourmaline probably in that world would not be a gem. So
Because would crystals? Because when I hear the word crystals, for me it is things that grow. Like the stamolites and the
So rather than create from
stalactites and
pressure,
stalagmites.
okay,
Yes.
right.
That
Yeah.
for me signifies crystals, whereas gemstones for me signify, because my dad was part of a lapidary club, so we used to go rock hunting all the time. So and gemstones, and for me it's about picking up this rock that looks like nothing, and then opening it up and seeing something that's absolutely beautiful in there.
Yeah.
So that was my sort of query. Yeah.
Well, a couple of queries have come up on the old screen there, a couple of questions as well. So let's have a look. I'll bring this one up. Okay, and I'll look, this lovely lady, I'm just going to call you
Iddy.
Iddy because, geez, I can't pronounce your name. Can you discuss the concept of energy in jewellery and how it affects the wearer? I reckon everybody wants to know that one.
Okay. Discuss the concept of energy. So everything is energy.
Yes.
Like, first of all, energy exists in every single thing. So we are energy. What we're sitting on is energy.
Yeah.
And energy if we're going to break it down, molecules vibrate at a certain vibration to create a solid. Nothing is a solid. Everything is molecular, vibrational, and
quantum here.
Yeah,
Yes.
so yeah, we're getting it probably a bit out there with this.
No, it's good to be out there, though.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, you know, everything is energy, and so that vibration and energy are quite a little bit different. So these are vibrational being, they're all energy because everything is. But their vibration is what I was explaining before with melody, is their vibrations vibrate at different, so where they relate to the wearer on the body is, say, our heart. Our heart would vibrate at a certain vibration.
Yep.
And a crystal would vibrate at the same vibration, and so they would connect. That would be what you would wear for your heart. So generally,
So you would actually then, your heart vibration would actually amplify because you're wearing that
that's
crystal.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then we've got a system in our bodies called our chakra system. Now, when I first started 20 years ago and doing in-home presentations, it was called Crystal Abyss. And one of my first questions was, has anyone heard about a chakra? Now,
Yep.
in the room, or well, actually, have you heard about a chakra?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because would you have heard about a
Mr.
chakra
World.
20 years ago?
No, nowhere in the world.
This is really interesting, because 20 years ago, I was in many, many people's homes. This is something I did for quite a few years.
Okay.
And a couple of people would put their hands up. I might have had 20 or 30 people in front of me, and maybe only 2 or 3 people would say, yes, I have heard of a chakra. So I would explain the chakra system that runs through your body.
Yep.
We've got main chakra systems, and
Yeah.
we've got lots
Lots
of
of others.
small chakra systems, but they usually run through our main chakra systems. But this is 20 years ago. Now, even I'm asking you that you probably isn't
yeah.
your world.
Yep.
You've heard of a chakra.
Absolutely.
So how far have we come metaphysically in the last 20 years?
I think, look, culture has changed and a lot of people are far more open than they used to be.
Yes.
I mean, 20 years ago, maybe not 20, but yeah 20 years ago, I probably would have been just closed off to it, okay? And
Yeah.
I just think that, you know, other
It
things
was,
in life have just opened up.
it was very much the weird
Yeah.
completely.
people
I mean,
only knew about that.
Yeah.
Well, now we're part of the weird
well,
people,
okay.
right?
First time, weird we are.
we're
That's
not
the
weird
badge that
anymore.
we wear.
The weird is the new norm, right? No one wants to be normal. My first experience with crystals,
Yep.
you'll never guess. Okay.
Tell me.
1987 at the age of 2.
Oh.
Thanks for your support.
At the age of 2.
There you
You're right.
Okay.
No, in 1987,
Yeah.
Peter Brock raced at Bathurst
Yep.
with an energy polarizer in his car, which was a little box of crystals. All right.
Is that right?
That is actually what caused the big divorce, why actually Brocky had to leave Holden, because Holden wouldn't endorse it. They're saying, you know, it's wacky stuff and you can't have that. He couldn't actually prove the science of what it was doing, but he said his car ran better. They were selling Holden's, the
Is
directors,
this
with these
right?
fitted, and Holden washed their hands of Peter Brock over this issue.
I love this.
There you
Wow.
go.
I
So
just-
there's always been the great debate, was there one
Yes.
in his car in that year and all
Yeah,
of that,
yeah.
which we never completely consider. But the cars they sold had them.
Yeah.
And it was enough for corporate GMH Holden to go, no. We're not going to have
Silly.
this. So
Silly,
interesting,
really.
though. And then
They
our
could have
car
been
would-
the first
Yep.
to have been on something,
Well-
like to make something really unique and on something endorsed by such a great driver.
If you want to buy one of those now, get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes. Yeah.
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 So, I mean, I thought he was on the wacky tobacco. I thought, it's coming, come on, what's going on, Pete?
Yeah.
Because in his world,
You're a hippie.
Yeah.
yeah. And he was, let's be absolutely
was.
frank, when he was younger, he had the cigarette in hand, he was, smoking and living that life and all of that and drinking and whatever, living a very, well, the opposite to crystals, basically, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And then, he met
That's
somebody
it.
in the early 80s, which changed his life, and that's actually
Yeah.
why from 85 onwards he never had cigarette sponsorship, and that's where the polarizer came in. Yeah, so
Great.
yeah, I'm just trying to, I mean,
See?
for those of
And
us
He
who
was onto it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I really like that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of people say, and I say, the crystal chooses you.
Yes, it
Like
does.
it's quite funny because people will come to my table and they'll have a look at the crystals and the jewellery, and then they'll you know, think, oh yes, well, I like that. I like that more. Let me think about it, and they might go away. But I know, I kind of get this feeling, and I go, they're going to be back. That crystal's calling them. And the reason I usually know is that the next person comes in, goes straight to that crystal. So it's almost like a light has gone on around the crystal.
Okay.
So, and it's just, if someone else comes in and sees that, then I go, that crystal's called, and they'll come back and get it.
Is that like the puppy that jumps up and you
Yes, that
Yes.
works
For me,
Yeah.
every time I see Karen's stuff,
I've done
I look through
exactly
and I go,
what you
"Damn
have
it."
said.
Yes.
I did exactly
It's
what you
calling
have
my
said.
name.
You're one of your
Hello,
fairs.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, more great questions coming through.
but
So
I've
many
got
that
one.
I've actually, comments and
I-
all.
can I-
I've
can
just
I-
gone
can
too
I- can
far.
I ask a
There we
question?
go. About intention. I like this one. And thank you to Lisa, who obviously isn't in the room today, but she's here in spirit and tech.
Yes.
How do crystals support intention?
Okay, so you can use specific crystals for intention. So the one that stands out is clear quartz. So clear quartz is used in everything.
Okay.
And that is definitely a crystal that NASA would have been using. Clear
Right.
quartz is in your computers. It's got memory. Yes,
Really?
yes. Clear quartz
I
is
need to
in
start swallowing this stuff.
phones, in
The memory of the
computers.
goldfish.
But I know that one of the crystals that NASA absolutely would have been using would have been clear quartz because of their memory. So so you can use a clear quartz and put your intention into it. So this is where you'd probably want to do something like clearing your crystal. So you can clear your crystal several ways. A quartz can go in salt water, no problems at all. At the ocean, you can put it underwater and just to let tap water go over it, although I'm not fussy on tap water because of all the other things that are in it.
Need that good zazen water.
You need some good zazen water, yes. That's
You
what
do.
you need over
The good
it.
gear.
Because that's got all the good stuff in the bottom. It's probably got crystals in
Yeah.
it
Let me
as well.
just sorry to
have.
interrupt you on that front. Okay,
Yeah.
look, again, cynical of these things.
In-
That stuff tastes better.
Yeah.
Like it just tastes better. You know,
Is there crystals in there?
There's you've got mineral stones and silver stones.
There you go.
Oh, okay, you got silver.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's...
silver's to keep it clear and
silver,
gem free,
you know, we
basically.
take,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just going off the subject here onto the health side of things, but we take colloidal silver.
Yes, we do.
Like, so,
And colloidal golds and
yeah,
all
so
that sort of
you're
stuff.
getting the silver in your water
yeah.
every time you drink
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
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 Okay, I
It's
didn't know
hydrating.
that,
It's very
you know.
hydrating water.
Yeah.
Hydrates you a lot better. Yeah.
You could put crystals in there as well, just
Yeah.
as an extra
Oh,
zing.
see, I'm going to put that in my. I'm going to get
Right
you some
now?
crystals. Getting you some crystals.
Get me some crystals.
Getting you some crystals for the zazen.
Shungite would be the one.
Shungite. Okay.
Hey, no need to
That's-
swear.
So,
Yes,
on that subject of silver,
Yes,
I know that you only use silver.
I only use 925 sterling silver.
Okay, why not
Yeah.
gold?
It's not that I won't use, well, it's expensive.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
let's get really
yeah.
real.
And people, just don't have the funds to then buy the artwork, right?
That's right. The thing is that I can get, there's a certain amount of waste involved with this
Yeah.
the jewelry that I make, and I mean I have a bag at home, honestly, and a really big bag of all. Sometimes things I will take undone, or they haven't gone quite right, or I've twisted it too hard and it's broken. So there's a lot of waste. Now, if you were wasting gold, it's just going to start costing a lot of money.
Sure.
Now, I use a really strong gauge of wire.
Yeah.
So my wire's really particular because I want it to last. I want you to be able to wear it and wear it for a long, 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 long time. So I'm really particular about the gauge of wire. So the silver jewellery that is out there now, you'll see is very fine. It's silver coated jewellery.
I can't wear that because I'm allergic to nickel.
Yeah.
When
Well,
that silver coating
sometimes
comes off.
Well, sometimes it's over sterling silver.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah.
But if it's going to come off, then you've got issues. I don't want to have issues. I want to be able to put a piece out there. Yes, it does need cleaning with a beautiful silver cloth every now and then because 925 sterling silver, even pure silver, tarnishes through the atmosphere. Saying that, I hardly ever clean mine, but I might just have a shower and just the shampoo from your hair actually washes it down nicely.
Jeez.
But I'm not
going to work out for me then.
Please
Okay.
But please don't wear all your crystals in the shower because some of them don't like it. Only I
is
can
that
do.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, they say anything that ends in "ite," like kunzite or fluorite or anything "ite," should not be put in water. But I wear all of mine in water.
Okay.
I
Never heard
wear
that.
all of mine. I put all of mine in
And
water.
kunzite doesn't really like the sun either. So
Well, it'll fade.
Yeah,
and
it'll
I learned
change
that
colour.
by I bought some beautiful blue. It was blue pink kunzite. Paid a lot of money for it. Went home and put it on my desk, and it just left it there. But the sun would come in, and I went back to my work at that time. I was working at a wholesaler, and went, I bought these off you, and they were blue and they're white now. And then my boss said to me, "Yeah, because they're sun sensitive, Karen." And I just went, "No." So you pay for colour.
Yeah, and then you bleach it out. Really.
Yeah. So they were kind of still pinky. But look, my stuff has been in the sun a lot, and I have not noticed. So amethyst is another one that's very sun sensitive. So amethyst is probably one of the main ones that's sun sensitive. If you put an amethyst anything out in your garden, it's going to go white.
Okay.
You know, so you don't.
Are there different colour amethysts around the world?
Well,
Because that's the other thing.
there's praesiolite.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, it's a green amethyst, and praesiolite's only been out now
Tell you what,
for
it's
about...
complicated.
Oh,
Give
yeah,
me some sort of diagram here.
Oh, yeah,
There's so
it is
many.
another language. Oh, there's so many.
I
And there's-
love that you know so much
I know.
about
I
it, though.
love asking the question.
Yeah,
I like the green
it's-
one.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty.
It's but see, praesiolite's fairly new.
Right.
It's a fairly new. Well, it's because I worked in the wholesaler. You got to know when things are out in the market and they're fairly new to the market.
Of course.
And praesiolite is definitely one of those. So I think probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago is when I started to see it. It's beautiful because I love green.
Yeah.
Like my favourite crystal is dioptase, very
Okay.
special green. But the thing is with praesiolite is when you look up about it, they're saying that it's been heat-treated amethyst, and it's creating the praesiolite. Now,
So is that artificial? Heat treated or heat treated?
Yes, they're saying heat artificially.
Yeah.
But my question here is if you artificially treat amethyst, it turns to a citrine. It goes very, very yellow, almost orange if you put too much heat on it. So I don't know how that can work. And when you see raw praesiolites, I always think to myself, if they're going to heat treat them, they'd make them amazing. If they're going to manipulate them, they're going to make them
We're
look...
going to perfect them.
Yeah, perfect
right?
them. Where you can go through and they're all different colours. They're all different shades. They can be quite light or quite dark. So I'm still on the fence about... They obviously are real and they were found as real crystals because, as we know, there's a lot of volcanic heat in the earth.
Sure.
And I think this is how they started to find that amethyst would turn to citrine, because they found some near volcanic heat and they were yellow.
It's one of my favourites.
Citrines.
Yeah,
I think
one of my
everyone
favourites.
loves a citrine. I think
All
it's
these
because
to
of
me
what
just
it
sound
does.
like, to me it sounds like additives in the drink that I drink after a big night.
Don't do that, but you could put one on the bottom of your water.
Yeah, I could. Hey, I've just had a question that's just disappeared from the screen. I just want to grab that. Now, there we go. Here we are. What? No, it's disappeared on me.
I know what it is.
It was about the Age of Aquarius. There we go.
What does the Age of Aquarius mean? Energy in the Age of Aquarius mean?
Oh, well, the energy of Age of Aquarius. Okay. Well, this is why we're all waking up, for want of a better word. So the Age of Aquarius is a time. It vibrates the number 9, which is about humanity.
Okay.
And this is why we are seeing what is going on in this world, because we've just come out of the age of Pisces.
Good
very
people,
different, very good people, very sensitive people, the Pisces. But the age of Aquarian is a very, very different vibration. So the light is going to be shone on what is no longer going to be.
Okay.
So we're moving Yeah, we're moving into a much more heartfelt time.
Okay.
Where change, change is always inevitable, but we're going through a really beautiful, into a very beautiful time. So I know we all kind of panic about all these things that the light is shining on that we see around the world that's really uncomfortable, but they've been going on for a very long time, and aren't we glad? We're not glad to see it, but we're glad to know about it because it's going to stop.
We're living in a time of opportunity, aren't we?
We are.
Really are.
We are. And it's all about opportunity through the heart.
Yeah.
It's not about dog eat dog. It's not about me trying to be the best and be out there. It's about us all going together.
Agreed.
That's what they're a very compassionate sign, the Aquarian. So that's just a tiny bit about the Aquarian.
You got me
age.
then. Okay. Then if I can't even believe I'm saying this because this is showing that I've got knowledge that I didn't even know I had. Oh dear.
That's all about.
You've got me in. But okay, hang on. But Aquarius is before Pisces. So hang on. You're now saying we've got the age of Pisces now.
I hope I'm saying the right thing.
Are we out of order?
It moves backwards.
Oh.
Okay, because you're making me think here.
Yeah.
Because look, astrology. Ask me about crystals. I have a lot more knowledge.
Yep.
Astrology, I have very little knowledge. I have people that I go and ask.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
So
See,
Red Earth crystals is who I go to for my knowledge of astrology.
Right.
Jeez.
Okay. I have a cynical view of astrology from this point of view.
Yep.
Working in radio, okay,
Yep.
and back in the day, we don't do it anymore. But 20 odd years ago, you'd actually do the astrology every day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
horoscopes.
Yeah, the horoscopes would come in. And anyway, I was one of the guys who had to do the thing behind the scenes and bring them in and announce it, right?
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be in by whatever time every single day. And sometimes it would run late and I'd have to pad it out and all of that kind of thing, whatever. But how often it happened, it was far too often rather, it wouldn't come through in time, okay? And then head office just go, just pick something from 3 months ago and whack it in. Yeah, use something from 6 months ago, use something from 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And I'll be, and then yap. And because, literally you've got 3 seconds to make it happen.
They were uneducated people.
Well,
who would say that?
Well, they just don't want dead air, right?
Yeah.
That was and I won't say who it was, but it was a very large, major commercial station here in Western Australia.
Yes.
But they didn't care about it.
They weren't invested in the knowledge.
No,
they
they
were just filling space.
They were, exactly right.
And the thing is about astrology is when you know a little bit, like I know a little bit.
Yep.
You may be. I'm Cancerian.
Okay.
So even though I'm Cancerian, my rising sign is Libra, and my moon sign is Sagittarian. Now,
Yeah, Sagittarians are the best.
Yes.
Sagittarians!
So, but you're all the same. You've all got. So
I know.
I'm probably more Libran
Right.
than anything.
They're good too.
They
My
are
hubby's
very
Libyan.
balanced and
I thought the moon sign was when you do a nudie run on New Year's.
yeah. Well, we need to educate you.
We
here, I
don't know,
think.
you need to
but
see
I'm
that.
not the one to educate you
No one
on
needs to.
astrology. I know a basic knowledge. So we've got 12 planets,
Yeah.
and they all mean something. So just what you're born with is actually a tiny bit
Yes.
of the whole picture.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
it's really important to know that because, we all go, oh, they say a star sign, you go, oh, yeah, I know what they're like because, I've had an ex-boyfriend and a friend and this is what they were like
Yeah.
and that's what they're like. Well, it's just not. It's just not the way it is.
It's
And-
one piece, right?
and one tiny piece.
Yeah, and it might not even be what your chart explains. Like you're
Yes.
saying, you've got a Libran.
It goes into houses and where these things fall into what house, and that house, one's for family and home, one's for work, one's for prosperity. Like it's a big
another language.
Very complicated.
It's another language.
It really is.
Yeah.
Again,
It's
when
another
you
language.
need those Venn
You know what?
diagrams.
You go to someone that has the knowledge
Yep.
and you
Yes.
get your charts done.
Done.
Yeah.
And you have a look through those charts and you will find that there's a lot of, similarities with what's gone on in your life over the time.
Yeah.
Being the great misogynist that I am, my best friend of 30 years, Megan, dragged me, basically she believes in all of this thing, this sort of stuff, and it always has.
Yeah.
And I used to jokingly, 30 years ago, 25 years ago, so I used to say it straight out, right? When your parents had sex has nothing to do with your personality. I was like black and white about it, right? No, don't buy it, forget it, right? And then she actually challenged me once and said, okay, let's talk about who the star signs of the people that you are attracted to or attracted to you and the people that you bring in. And oh my word, there's a pattern with me. I mean, I can't say that for everybody. With me, but particular star signs, I tend to be drawn to. So I was kind of like, maybe
And
it's not black and white.
And do you know why that
Maybe-
happens? Because your sun sign is the sign that is, I believe, this is true, someone may tell me something different, it's what we're showing out there in the world.
Okay.
So their
Find
sun
out your
sign,
sun sign.
well, that's Pisces.
Yeah, Pisces.
Don't
So-
steal my sunshine.
So,
And find your moon sign.
you know, what you're showing out in the world and what they're showing out there in the world and those sun signs, that's probably where that attraction is.
Oh.
And then when you get to know them a bit more, there's,
Yep.
there's going to be other things that you find out, you know.
Oh, yeah,
So-
yeah, trust me.
Yes.
And then we go
Okay.
into the psychology of
That's
it.
right. Yeah.
That's another show.
And here's one we're prepared by.
That's where personality comes in, right?
So true. Look, there's some beautiful pieces of jewelry in front of us
Look at
right
this.
now. It really is. And obviously we're going out on the radio as well, so pretty hard to show it. But I don't see anything particularly masculine in there. I mean, you're going to knock something out for the fellas or what?
Well, yes, actually, I have had quite a
Good.
range for men, and they've always sold.
Cool.
But you know, when I make jewelry, I make what I want. I
Yeah.
make a piece that I'm going to fall in love with.
Sure.
Now, not saying I don't fall in love with them, and yes, I am, because part of what I'm doing in my life
Well, you're
right
an
now,
artist. Makes sense.
yeah, and I sit down and I just look at my table, and my table's full of crystals, and one will shine, and I go, oh, I'm making that.
Okay.
So to make men's jewelry, I have to actually go into a space and go, I am making men's jewelry, and this is what I've got to do today, and make that range. And I mean, I've obviously sold them all because I don't have any.
Right.
So, but the other thing about men's jewelry, there is no longer men's or women's jewelry. A lot of men a lot of women have bought my men's jewelry.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
a
no,
lot
I
of
get that. I
men
totally
have
get
bought
that.
my women's jewelry. So with the way things are in this day and age, and everyone's free to be whoever they are, they
Yep.
want to be, I have men that would buy the rings, absolutely would buy the rings I've got
No,
on.
that makes complete sense.
Because these are a little bit more, but I have men that will buy a ring like, well, I have got men that have bought a ring very similar to that, so, which is a bit blingy. And they're not necessarily, no, I can't say it, can I?
You can say whatever you like.
Can
yeah.
I? They're not necessarily gay.
Yeah, of course not.
Okay. I thought we had to be politically correct.
No,
Not on this,
here.
not on this
No.
radio
Oh,
station.
thank
No, we
goodness
don't
for
do
that.
politically correct.
So they're not necessarily gay. They are just men that really like, and I have a man that buys them and has got one in every finger.
Okay.
Wow, that
And-
would be heavy.
Yeah, but he's strong because he's a man. He's got muscles.
Oh, the reason I asked that is, well, okay, you've got
Yeah.
some men who are more masculine than others,
Yeah.
and some who are very strong in their feminine. They might be drawn to a lot of the jewelry, and
Yeah.
good luck to them, quite frankly. If they're drawn to it, that's
Yeah.
what they should have.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
for myself, I mean, I would consider myself a fairly masculine male. I would want something more masculine.
Yes,
so I
of
was just
course.
wondering if you did things
And
like
you'd
that.
want something smaller because that's
Yeah.
the thing is
Yeah,
with men.
men don't want to be
No, they
Yeah.
don't want to be seen.
showy.
They, you know, they don't. Well, some do, but the majority don't.
Yeah.
Sure.
I
So
guess
that-
it depends on how flamboyant they are. Look, I've seen a
Yeah.
Hawaiian
especially-
shirt on you or two.
Never,
You know.
never, no. Yeah, well, that's
Colourful
good.
shirt.
But yeah, that's really interesting you say that because stereotypes 101. A lot of people will assume I'm gay because I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt. No, I just
just
like
think that
Hawaiian
you-
shirts. I like colour. I like vibrancy. I think
Yeah.
I like life.
Yeah,
So,
Speaking of that, a lot of men have earrings. So and they show their bling on their earrings.
Yeah.
But you don't do earrings, do you?
Only little small drop earrings, but because I have the earrings as
Because you are
part
so
of the
chunky
jewelry.
and
Yeah.
beautiful and raw.
So they're coming because
Yeah.
this is all part of the move that I'm making to go international.
Ooh, international.
yeah.
Hear that, ladies and gents?
Yeah, yeah. So
Look, I'm getting fashion tips as well. Thank you.
Exciting,
That's,
A black ring would suit you, Aaron Malloy.
when I was married, I don't like to swear, but okay. When I was married, your dirty four-letter word, wife. I know I'm teasing. Hello, I'm a romantic. I would get married again if just stop meeting psychos.
Something in your star sign.
It's something can't possibly be me. No responsibility taken, right? No, all jokes aside. But okay, I'm a car guy, and so I had carbon fibre and tungsten, right? Okay, because they're kind of they're motorsport kind of stuff, and you can really. What I'm getting at is you can have your personality in a piece of jewellery.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this. This is so individual. You're going, you're picking it. You're not going to a big chain jewellery place and buying a piece.
Yeah.
This is so cool. I think,
I have
if
seen
you're gonna
some
express
men
yourself-
with what you're saying, but out of stone, just as a ring, just like a wedding band, like a band,
wow.
Yes.
but out of stone.
Oh, yes.
The whole
yes,
lot out of
yes.
stone.
Although they won't last long.
No,
Because
I
you
would
under here,
imagine.
we bang and,
Yeah.
and a crystal's going
I
to
would
break.
imagine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
imagine that would be a case.
A stone like hematite is quite
Strong.
attractive to men, right? Because
Absolutely.
it's got that beautiful
Yeah,
What colour
pyrite.
is that? I don't know.
Pyrite is
It's
too.
black with like a silver overlay. It's it's magnetic.
Right?
My youngest son Cooper loves hematite. He's got little rocks that stick together. He plays with. He's got a bracelet. He's got a necklace.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a really good point. I mean, again, years ago, I actually for a while I wore. God, it's
Shark tooth?
So no, well, no, but just as bad, really, just as bad. Remember when the fashion was about the ball bearings? When you had the ball bearing necklace?
Yes.
Yeah, I had those.
Well, they were hematite.
Yeah.
Is that right?
They were hematite. They weren't
There you
really ball
go.
bearings. They
I
were
wore
hematite.
one of those for about 3
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the
You're a
healing
trendsetter.
properties of hematite?
Hematite's
time
incredibly
ago.
grounding.
Incredibly grounding.
It's a
Was
very,
it?
very grounding. It's also one of those protection stones.
Yep.
They throw me out here with the silver colour. It's obviously quite illuminating because it's got a real silver, a dark silver sheen to
Yeah.
it. So it's
Yeah.
a very illuminating crystal. But anything of those heavy earth stones, their main thing is protection and grounding you, keeping you down, keeping you here, keeping you in your body.
Well, a girlfriend bought it for me actually, and yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
Was this
Yeah.
one you liked?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
actually.
see?
A lot.
See, maybe go back to those stones. That probably help.
Well, I saw a
Not
photograph.
that girlfriend.
No,
Not the
those
girlfriend.
stones.
No, no, that's okay.
Well, I'm presuming that she's probably moved on.
No. She's probably sitting at home right now, rocking back and forward, missing me. Yeah. Clearly. No. Once you had Aaron, no. But no, all jokes aside, no, that was a very significant relationship in my life. Loved the girl very, very much. And she bought that for me, and I really liked it. And when the other day, funny enough, a photo popped up, and I saw myself, and I thought, oh my God, because to me it was kind of like
We
seeing
wanna
shark
see the
teeth.
photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to see those photos. They
well,
need to be on Edge.
It'll be online soon.
Yeah, well, it's out there somewhere. Yeah, it's literally me with that and completely bleached. When I say bleached, I mean white spikes, just
Oh yes.
Oh, how cool.
spiked hair, but
We all need to see this
looking
photo.
like noodles from The Offspring.
Nice.
Yeah. So I had
Trendy.
that. Yeah, well, it was at the
Was
time.
at the time, right? We
Now
were all
it's
alive back then.
Yeah,
we remember
completely
that.
cringe
yeah.
now. But
I had
yeah,
the big
but-
hair too.
Yeah.
The short hair, but up there.
It's got anti-gravity hair. But the thing is, about the stone was nice. I just didn't want I don't want to be taken back to that era, I guess.
Do you see a time, Karen, where, like clothing, jewellery becomes more accessible for everybody? Because a lot of our young people these days will wear big pieces of jewellery and they don't even stop to think about it. Is
Yeah.
it a changing phenomenon like clothing, do you see?
As in, are you asking that are the younger ones?
more
Do you,
connected
do you think
to.
they're going to be wearing bigger pieces of jewellery?
Yeah, or more connected to
Look,
crystals.
Absolutely more connected to crystals. They're born coming in connected to crystals. The amount of children that come past my stall, and I started obviously selling crystals, very beautiful crystals, and I didn't mind that they would touch the tumble stones. I always direct them over there and said, you can touch the tumble stones, but nothing on here. But I don't have them on the table as much anymore. So I do have to ask parents a lot, because they seem to think, now, my jewellery is middle to high-end jewellery.
Okay.
And I promise the amount of parents that stand there and watch their 2-year-olds picking up, dropping off, picking up, looking and showing their parents, and they're all going, yeah, isn't it nice? And I go over and go, only with your eyes, only with your eyes. And then they kind of all, and they usually leave.
Well, that's on next week's show about parenting. And it needs to...
It's have you
such-
really got a show next week called
No, I'm only
Parenting?
teasing completely. But it's true. It's true. Like, parenting's gone down the gurgler to such
But
a large
the
extent.
young ones are already wearing crystals. My jewellery isn't necessarily for the young ones. It's quite mature jewellery. So my avatar, for want of a better word, if the person that I have, over the years I've had to look and to say who is my person? Who is the So so they're generally women, and they are generally between the ages of 35 and 75. Because I still have older women that wear.
We fit in that range
We
still.
do. Yeah.
Yes,
Quite nicely in that range.
So, and not saying that I have some younger girls that do, but they're generally, they like to wear the very fine pieces in their layers, and they might be the gold filled jewellery. So I leave it to the people that do that. There's no point in me trying to do. I do what I do.
Everything.
Yeah.
We all have our
Special.
And what you
lane.
do is very special, very
amazing.
beautiful, and very artistic. And I think that's,
thank
that's a
you.
credit to you.
Yeah, thank
Definitely.
you.
I think you just wrap things up, to be honest with you. I think that's really important to think it is an art.
It is an art,
It's,
absolutely.
But if you do want to purchase some of this art, you can. Now, how do we get in touch with you?
Okay, Karen Lee Designs is either on Instagram, so you can just go Karen, K-E-R-R-Y-N, Lee, L-E-I-G-H, Designs, Instagram, Facebook. I've got a website that is a lookbook, but it is being revised as we speak. So I will have things for sale. But your best bet is to contact me, tell me what you're after. If you've got a piece of crystal that you want to have made into a piece of jewellery, I can do that for you. So just contact me. You'll find my phone number on everything. Text me a message.
What is your phone number?
0432 354419. I prefer a text.
Or go to the website. It's always good.
The website's great.
Up on your screen right now.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
absolute pleasure. It has been a pleasure. Thank you very much for being part of The One Thing
Thank
here on
you.
Age Radio Australia.